how have you been able to get good people? Because I know human capacity is a big issue.
Okay, good people is different from human capacity. Because the last time I spoke on this topic, they said, what are your challenges? And I said, in the past, 35 years ago, capital, maybe power to a lesser extent. 25 years ago, capital, power. Now, human capital, human capital, human capital.
Hey guys, welcome to How They Did It with TriciaBiz, a show that takes you behind the scenes of successful African entrepreneurs, change makers, and creators, showing you the journeys that led to their success.
This episode is sponsored by Traction Apps, the growth partner for your business.
Starting over is tough. Talk less of starting a business afresh. I am live in Victoria Island in Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm going to be talking to an interesting entrepreneur who had a business for 25 years. It was shut down, and at age 52, she started afresh and built this multi-million-dollar business that I am standing right in. My guest today is Mrs. Ifeyinwa Ighodalo. Let's go in and find out how she has been able to start this business afresh and build it to the current stage. Let's go.
Okay, so we're back with another episode of How They Did It with TriciaBiz, and I have the delectable Mrs. Ifeyinwa Ighodalo on this episode. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you.
Good to have you
so
here.
much. Finally
Finally,
we're here.
You know what's the story? But finally,
Yes,
so
finally
we're doing
we're
it.
here.
So we'll go all the way back. How did you know that this is what you wanted to do with life?
Whew, I've told this story so many times. So I'm going to try and give you the abridged version. I studied accountancy. I shouldn't say that, but I did well in school. Let me put it that way. I was always valedictorian. So I wasn't sure when I was leaving secondary school what I wanted to study, but I did know that I was very good in maths, very, very good in maths, and I knew I was going to run a business. So when I looked at the very limited courses, or like now you can do Disney animation, you can do all sorts of things. When I looked at the very limited courses that were available, I chose accountancy.
Okay.
Very little reading, because it's mostly numbers. I'm very good with numbers. And it would help me in my business. Now, when I got into university, I used to play around with the decor. Then you were either 2 to a room or 1 to a room, or like now I don't even know how many we are. And so I'd move things around, I'd paint, I'd bring pillows, throw pillows from my parents' home. And spoiler alert, my parents were running a furniture company. And then interior decor as opposed to interior design. They were not designing, but they were decorating. And so I then decided that, I had that advantage. I could go and take stuff and put in my room. And my friends would come and say, oh, Ifeyinwa, I like what you've done with your room. Can you come and do something like that for me? So it was just a hobby while I was in university. And then, but for me, I found pleasure. I found joy in it. So you know how they say, turn your passion into profit. So by the time I was graduating, the one thing I knew was I wasn't going to be an accountant. My dad tried to get me to do the ICANN exams, go work in a bank. He even had me work. I did my youth corps with First Bank because in Abeokuta, because he was a director, one of the directors, and he thought, okay, come and try it and see if you like it. It was, routine, same thing over and over. Like now, banking is a lot more exciting. This was 41 years ago. So you can compare banking then and now. With banking now. And so once I was done, I joined the family company, made myself the GM, but they could see that, yes, I was worth it because I saved them a lot of profits. I brought ideas. And so the next step, my parents lived in the east in Enugu, and that was where their company was. But I found that it didn't give me enough. I needed to broaden my horizons. It didn't give me enough room for growth, for experimenting, and for making money. So I convinced my poor father yet again to let me come to Lagos, but he insisted I get a job, which I did. with a furniture company that was based on Awolowo Road. The building is still there, but my hairdresser is upstairs now, and the pharmacy is downstairs where the company was. And I worked with them for about a year plus, and then I left and started my business 35 years ago. Yeah, 35 years ago.
Interesting. And that was Design Options.
Yes, correct.
Great. So how long did Design Options run for, and what was your experience growing a business for that long and then taking a walk to start this beautiful establishment?
Well, we didn't start here.
I know.
Even for DO.II, we didn't start here. We ended up here. So starting the business, there was definitely a niche. There was definitely a need for design options when I started. Because when we started, I had a partner. And when we started, there wasn't anybody like now. I mean, everywhere you look, you see some interior design company, you see somebody doing this, bringing in furniture, you know, making furniture. But then there were very few people doing it the way we do it. And even now, I know that there are few people that do it the way we do it. There are lots of interior designers, lots of manufacturing companies. And so when we started, furniture was it banned or not banned? Because over the period of time, today it's banned, then it's unbanned, then it's banned. But there was nobody manufacturing world-class furniture in Nigeria. You know, the furniture, and I mean no disrespect, that you find, you know, when you go towards Alaba, that area, you know, there's some, they're local manufacturers, and their stuff is quite good, but it's the style. That's, I mean, this was made here, that was made here.
Beautiful.
Lots of pieces, my desk was made here. So it's that style, having that flair, that of like a global brand feel. There was nobody doing it when we started. So that's how we started. The second part of your question.
So how long was that business
25
in existence
years.
for? And 25 years.
Yeah, and we grew it to become a household name.
Wow.
Till today, people look at me and say, design options. Even my husband sometimes say, you people in design options. I say, no, we're DO.II now. So, you know, 25 years. So I have clients, I can't. I have clients everywhere. And then also, because like I said, at the time when furniture was banned, it was to our advantage. Because you couldn't bring it in, but you could get it from design options. So that helped us really, really grow the brand. We had a lot of customer loyalty till today. Our customers are really, really loyal, and we love them. We absolutely love them.
Great. So
then the transition
into DO.II. So
Yes.
at 52,
yeah,
you realized
10
that
years ago.
you have to start afresh again.
Yes, there was a parting of ways, as it were.
Okay.
And like I said, this is my passion. This is what I love doing. And I felt, to be honest, at the time I was like, okay, you know what? I've tried. But there's something in me that just, keeps me going. If people ask me, people say fear of failure, but for me, it's that failure is not an option. That's that for me. And, I just have this drive. I don't know how to describe it. Now that as you're asking me this question, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I don't know what it is. So even though there was a parting of ways, I felt my story, I wasn't done yet. That's what it was. I wasn't done yet. So I just picked up the pieces, and a lot of you've seen some of my people, a number of them were in design options, and they came with me. The showroom manager who you met, in fact, she's not a showroom manager anymore. She was a showroom manager. She's now the AGM Sales and Projects, and she's on the board of DO.II. She's a director. So 2 of the staff who have stayed with us are directors. They're on the board.
Fantastic.
So, yes. So the transition, it wasn't easy. I won't lie. We restarted the showroom, the business, and then the showroom at the old address on Ajese Adiogo. But even before the rebranding, we had outgrown that address, because furniture, to be honest, needs space. It's very capital intensive. And so we had started looking before, we had to rebrand. So on rebranding, we then, once we settled in, got ourselves together, within 2-3 years, I started looking. And to the glory of God, this is where in 2022, 4 years ago, literally, almost to the day, 4 years ago, almost to the day, we got this place. And then we moved in 3 years ago. Well, it will be 4 years soon. We opened our doors here in April 2019. So almost 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been quite a journey.
It's been a journey.
This is me interrupting your watch time to tell you to like this video, share it, and also subscribe to my channel. You're still watching How They Did It with TriciaBiz.
Yeah. So what lessons did you take out of the closure of one chapter and then the opening of another, whether it has to do with partnership or restarting?
Okay, so I'll take partnership first. When you have a partnership, you don't actually have to be friends to be partners. The most important thing is what you're bringing to the table. So it's better you complement each other, which we did. So that was beautiful. The other thing is have an ironclad partnership agreement. That way you have terms of engagement, terms of, they say like terms of war. There's this movie, I'm trying to remember what it is. So like, not terms of negotiation, but like when you have, so terms for
conflict.
Conflict, that's it.
Conflict resolution?
Conflict resolution. So you must have terms for conflict resolution. You must have terms for, even if you go to arbitration, you just have to have, just
all of that.
Dot your I's and cross your T's. So you must have an ironclad partnership agreement. That way, people will always, even families, you fall out, you have disagreements, but you come back together. So, but where because a family, you can't throw your family away. So that's the ironclad agreement. But with partnerships, because you are not, most times, even when you're family, you have to have it properly.
It's safe to be written.
Yeah, written, signed, sealed, and delivered. We were very young, so that was one of my, that's like you say, that's one of my lessons. So, but yeah, for partnership. So for starting over,
again, yeah.
like I said, the thought of starting over at 52, there are days I didn't want to get out of bed. And I remember lots of people advised me that, Ifeyinwa, why don't you just take a break? And just think about, how somebody says, oh, I've left this job, I want to take a break, and then I'll decide what I want to do next. For me, this was what I wanted to do next. But it wasn't about me. It was about, in design options, we had maybe about 70, 80 staff. And for the majority of them, they didn't have anywhere to go because of the way things evolved. So I felt I owed it to them.
You're responsible for them.
That's it. I was responsible for them. So even to those people who said to me, do this, I said, but what will happen to my people? That's what I kept telling them. I was okay. I had a beautiful home. I had a family. I didn't have any issues. I said, but what will happen to my people? So it took maybe 2 weeks, maybe at most a month. But I made sure they were being looked after financially during that period.
Okay.
And then we came back together, and here we are.
And here we are.
So resilience, lessons for restarting. Resilience, well, I'm on my own, so it's not as if I need an ironclad agreement. All the other lessons were there from the beginning, which is I had a vision, I knew what I wanted, and it was just a question of putting in the work and getting good people. So the good people, they're still here, they're growing, like I said, they're enjoying the benefits of the tenure they've spent with us. So good people invest in people. So those people that had invested in one way or the other, they were, just as I was saying, what will happen to my people, they were saying, what will happen to our madam? And we're all here together.
How have you been able to get good people? Because I know human capacity is a big issue.
Okay, good people is different from human capacity. Because the last time I spoke on this topic, they said, what are your challenges? And I said, in the past, 35 years ago, capital, maybe power to a lesser extent. 25 years ago, capital, power. Now, human capital,
Human capital.
Well, not 35. I don't have anyone that's 35. Maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. They have been groomed in the system. So they worked with us. Well, they've worked with me. When I say me, it's an us. And they understand. I tend to groom people. Okay. So you work with me. I'm more of a teacher than a businesswoman. I said to someone, that's really what, if they say, what have you done with your life? I would say, I have mentored and I have taught. So there's less human capacity issues with them. With the new ones coming along, because of the education system in Nigeria, because of or the lack thereof, because of so many things, it even extends beyond classroom education, because education starts from home. I literally said to somebody today, I need to fill a particular post. And I said, the people I have enjoyed in that post are people whose mothers raised them well. Education starts from home. You train your children. You train your children that when somebody speaks to you, you must respond. You train your children that if you see an adult coming towards you, if you see anybody coming towards you, even as I am, if I see a small child coming towards me, my instinct is to stop and let them pass. But if you attend parties in Lagos, the waiters will knock you down if you're not careful. So that's upbringing, education. And that is what all put together will give you a good person. See what I mean? So they're a little bit connected. But when you have someone who is well-raised, who is intelligent, even if they are not well-schooled, even if the educational system has failed them, you can train them. Yeah. Because they're willing to be trained, they're here to work. The main problem we're having is that people don't want to work. And it is a problem, I won't lie to you about it. But because I have the old brigade, a few of them, the good people, they are beginning to act as a buffer for me between myself, because I'm getting too old to, I should be a grandmother now. My daughter will kill me. But in a sense, a lot of my friends are grandparents. So I should be dealing with just playing with the babies and all that. I shouldn't be training anymore, because I really don't have the patience. I've done it for 35 years and more even.
So the old brigade is taking over
helping,
and helping the next generation.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job, because their ways are different from mine. I would even say their ways are better than mine, if I may.
Fantastic. So the brand has enjoyed like great loyalty.
Totally.
What strategies can we borrow from you? What do you think has made your people stay? Yes, has helped the company have people stay year in, year out. They keep coming back. Okay,
so there are two things. The first time somebody said to me, what is your USP? I said, what?
Unique selling proposition.
Of course. I said, what? Now I know what it means. That will show you how old I'm, the eldest brigade. So you have your USP, your unique selling point. Then, for me, then we used to call it goodwill. I don't even know what it's called now, like brand something. You know, there are new words. There's so many new words that I'm still getting used to. So we'll start with our USP. In design options, the plan was, when you come into the showroom, you've been into our showroom, when you walk through, you can imagine taking everything in that space. The sofa, the pillows, the rug, the accessories, everything, and just lifting it and dropping it. Space. Exactly. That was how we started 35 years ago. And we're still doing it and getting better by God's grace. So that's our USP. Where DO.II Designs is a one-stop shop for all your interior design solutions. So even from the ceiling, obviously we designed our showroom. This from ceiling design, and we did it on a low budget because we were restarting. So from ceiling design to floor planning to space planning, interior design, furniture, whether manufactured by us or outsourced, accessories, lamps, you've seen it all. So that's our USP. You don't just come here and buy a table and go. One-stop shop.
I can get everything.
Everything. But the first USP, I would even say also it's a USP, and the most important that has got us here is our goodwill. People trust us. And by God's grace, with the possible very few exceptions, we don't let them down. So it is critical. And when you still have me here at the helm, I'm not going to let you, we're not going to let you down. I'm praying, and because I'm working on succession planning, so I'm also praying that as I spend less time in the office, that was why even the appointments, because I'm not always in the office. Today is my day off.
Okay.
That's why I chose it, so that so that I have left enough in my people that they also understand and appreciate the importance of not letting the client down. You know, they say the client is king. The client is indeed king. So we have a good symbiotic relationship with our clients, that as we used to know them then, and now the new word is partners. So we partner with our clients.
Interesting. So I know that the business has a couple of aspects: the manufacturing, the production, and then the service, design, etc. How has manufacturing been, seen as the average Nigerian, or a lot of us prefer items that come from out of the country because we're like, oh, if it's from XYZ country, then the quality is good. We are not, we do not yet attribute quality to made in Nigeria items. So how are you able to knock that bias off?
By competing with global standards as much as we can. Let me ask you, are you comfortable on the sofa?
Very.
The length of your ground is fine.
Yes.
I mean, if we were not doing what we're doing, we'll be relaxed. Exactly. So you're comfortable.
Yes.
So those are global standards. There's a certain length there's the distance from your seat cushion to the floor, all of that. Then aesthetics. And then we also try to, where we can't stay ahead of the trends, we try to stay abreast of the trends. So we are not still producing furniture we were producing 25 years ago. Every year we bring in fact, during the year, but every year we discontinue some designs and introduce new. I don't want to use the word trendy, sounds shallow, but you know what I mean, abreast. You know, we stay with the trends.
Design trends.
The design trends, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that helps a lot. So quality, I forgot to mention that. Our hashtag is quality in every detail. So there's quality, there's detail. So you can see, I mean, the fabric, we use the best materials for input into our manufacturing. And well, even if I say so, we have the technique. So with quality, detail, we've managed to compete.
And of course, international standards.
Price. Especially now with the exchange rates.
How do you keep price low with the high cost of manufacturing in a country like Nigeria?
Actually, the cost of manufacturing in Nigeria is not as high as abroad. It's not. What is costly is the leakages. You know, when you know that this is supposed to be 500 naira, but somebody is presenting it to you to sign at 5,000 naira. Those are that's where the costs are. But the actual cost, the only other thing that's really affecting us now is power. I just signed off on my power bill. And when I say power, I don't mean PHCN. I mean the cost of diesel and others and such. And I was almost in tears. I was like, really? This is how much we're spending now? So yes, so those are the costs. But the cost of well, I guess compared to the Far East, we would be more expensive, the cost of manufacturing. But compared to Europe and the Western Hemisphere, no. The cost
how are you able to block leakages and thefts?
Difficult. I've convinced them. I keep telling my people I have eyes at the back of my head. So whatever you're doing, I can see you. Even though I'm looking this way, I can see you. It's tight. It's tough, and it's getting tougher with the level of poverty now, and with the fact that we don't really have many very good role models. We don't have. So when you look at people who you should be looking up to, and you see what they're getting up to, you don't. Why won't I do it? But if you choose, and if we have enough role models who people can look up to and say, yes, he didn't steal, he didn't He didn't cheat. He's gotten to where he is by dint of hard work, with integrity. This is what he or she stands for. Then that will actually be the beginning, because the rot is actually getting, I don't even want to imagine it. It's actually getting worse.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the brand is celebrating 10 years.
Yay!
And that's the 10-year anniversary. This is the month, right?
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So from here on, what is the plan for the brand?
More growth, more growth, more growth. Like I said earlier, succession planning is where we play. And I had hoped to retire the COVID year, which was the year I was 60, but we were not there yet because we just barely moved in here. And there was still a lot of work to be done. So more growth. The strategy, like you said, we started off doing mostly home furniture in Design Options, evolved into DO.II and continued with the home furniture. But I saw that the home furniture would limit us, except we were doing it in bulk.
Okay.
So two things happened. We started marketing. The strategy was to market and partner with as many corporates as we could, and that has paid off. There's a buying cycle for home. Then I remember we could tell our low months, because when school fees were being paid in September, no business. When people were on holiday from June to August, no business. So from June to September, very little business. I think you get business. They need accommodation. They've decided to furnish the accommodation for their senior management, or even just have, now we've had a lot of hospitality projects where we're furnishing 10 flats for this bank, 18 flats for this businessman. I don't want to call it Airbnb, but for short stay. Short stay. So, but they're corporate. That's corporate business. That's not personal. That's not come and furnish my house. So that has been our strategy, and to the glory of God, again, it is paying off.
Fantastic.
So, we have a lot of things in the pipeline for the next 5 years. So I'm hoping and praying that after 5 years, you'll be interviewing somebody else here who will tell you Mrs. Ighodalo's story, tell you what they learned, and tell you how they're putting that in place. So for the immediate, we have our DO.II Big Black Friday, which comes up on Black Friday. Everybody says, when is Black Friday? And I'm like, Black Friday is the same every year.
So November 26th.
Yeah, it may not be the date. It's the last Friday of the month. So this year, I think it's actually 25th. 25th, because Thanksgiving is the day after Thanksgiving. So we have that. We've had that for the last 5, 6, 7 years. But this year we've called it the DO.II 10th anniversary Big Black Friday. So it's quite celebratory. We're going to host and celebrate our major clients.
Okay.
Say thank you. And then next year we'll see.
Hold up. I want to share with you a fantastic feature that our sponsors for this episode, Traction Apps, have. By now, if you are a How They Did It loyal fan, I assume that you already have downloaded the app or opened an account on the web platform. So the feature is called the wallet. Now, when you open your Traction app account, you have a wallet where the monies that are paid through your transactions goes to. Now, this wallet is useful for a couple of reasons. Number one, through the wallet, your cashiers, your store attendants can check transaction alerts. So no more having to call you on the phone to confirm if a customer made a payment or a transaction. They can simply open the wallet and see the money coming within seconds. So that reduces anger from customers who have to wait for confirmation. Number two, you can transfer money out to other banks or to your own account in another bank, right? That is where your funds are primarily held. And lastly, you can buy your airtime. Now, the good thing about buying airtime with your Traction wallet is the fact that if you buy airtime, you get 3% cash back. So let's say, for instance, you buy airtime worth 1,000 naira on any of the networks in Nigeria, you get 30 naira cash back. So if you're buying as much as possible, just know that every time you buy, you get 3% cash back. So check the links below. So if you are yet to open your account and you're a business owner doing business out of Nigeria, you are wrong. Go to the link in the captions, open your Traction app, and begin to enjoy all the fantastic features that Traction has to help you grow your business.
How are you able to balance everything? I know balance is a myth, but how are you able
To survive.
survive being a business owner, a wife, a mom, and I know you have many interests, the different organizations
mentor.
that you serve, being a mentor to many aburos, amongst others. How are you able to stay whole?
Forwards, the grace of God. The grace of it. Honestly, I can't tell you how I did it. The grace of God. Like I said, I have a very strong sense of responsibility, and that was inbred in me. I'm the first child of my parents.
Okay.
I'm the only girl. So, in African culture,
Yeah,
you already
mom.
know what that means.
Yes.
I had 2 boys after. And then I'm the first grandchild on my father's side and on my mother's side. So I'm also the mom. So I grew up knowing that everybody was my responsibility. So it's just an extension. So with my family, everyone that knows me knows I put family first. Family first. DO.II is now my family. They've been for a long time. So they too are my family. But that's my nuclear family first. Then the extended family, which there are many, first. Then, so for balance, I would say I try to get as much sleep as I can.
Okay.
There are times when I can't sleep because I'm thinking. I exercise. I haven't even been able to exercise as much as I usually do, because when the pressures are too much and pressures of time, not pressures of work, but pressures of time, then sometimes that's affected. So I try to stay healthy. I eat right, exercise, drink lots of water. So it's just, you need to prioritize. For me, it's family. No matter what is happening, I finish with the family first, and then I move on to, okay, what next? Well, of course, DO.II, because I have a responsibility to my clients as well. I can't let them down. So I have people I trust, and people I'm learning to trust, handling a lot of things for the business. But but if it gets to a point, which happened recently, which was part of the reason we had to
Postpone.
postponing. I have to drop everything and go and make sure it's okay. What else? Mentors, mentees. I have a lot of mentees at work who I have groomed. Some have left and formed and started their own businesses. They're doing very well. I have my mentees. You talked about organizations, yes. The period with WIMBIZ was a bit of a challenge for me because we were just about to go into our transitionary stage. We were celebrating our 20th anniversary, 20 years of impacting women. So there was a lot. I wasn't just chairman of the board of trustees. I was also there at a time when there was so much else going on. But God has made it possible. So I do know that I hate to sound like a cliche, I am blessed and highly favored. I know from my childhood till now, they're just things I look at and I say, why me? But yes, God has been good. So yeah.
Great. Final words. Any advice you have for entrepreneurs? You've been at it for decades, and there's like loads of people coming into the business space. Like business is the new corporate.
Yes.
So what advice do you have for those who are starting or those who are already here and just need to scale?
Okay. Now, when you said decades, I was like, what is she talking about? I only just started. But yes, I have been here for decades. Yes. So one of the things I left out, maybe not completely, is God. Honestly, I said to my husband recently that, they tell us, I must always remember to take it to God first. Always. I'll tell you a short story and then I'll come back to the question. We got this place 4 years ago. About 6, 7, what am I saying? No. About 12 years ago, I said to God that I wanted to move out of that smaller place and I wanted a building on 3 floors. You won't believe it. I said it. It was when everything came to pass that I said, ooh, you know when you have goose pimples. Now, when I started looking, I was looking at buildings on 2 floors. And every time as I was about to sign, it fell through 4 times. The 4th time, when I was in a meeting with a client when I got the call and they told me, and tears were just running down my, because I thought I was done with the search. So a week later, I said to my driver, let me have my car keys. Go and drive around. Any empty building you see, take a picture. And he came back with this and I said, no, this building is not empty. And he said, yes, it is. 4 floors. I asked for 3 from God. I, on my own, using my human, whatever it is, my own human might, was going after 2. And God just kept, until I ended up here. So God first. That is the moral of that story. God. Take it to God in prayer. Everything, my family, my business, my health, everything, take it to God in prayer. He never lets you down. Entrepreneurs in business, we need to be trustworthy. Your client, if your client can rely on you, they won't go anywhere else. There's a particular project we did a few years ago where when the client came, in fact, this piece of furniture was designed, that was the first time we made it for the client, based on the client's the client's taste, what the client wanted, the brief. And the client came because they trusted us. We'd done other smaller, maybe stuff for the house and things like that. And we didn't have what the client wanted, but the client trusted us to be able to do it, to deliver, to come up with it. And we did. So we've done, I think, 14 flats for that client. We're doing another 12. 2 years later. So your client must be able to rely on you, depend on you, trust you to deliver, trust in your integrity. Because for projects that we do, the advance payments, most, when they're serious, very institutionalized corporates, they will insist on the APGs and the insurance bonds. But generally, they just send the money today. I know what I saw today. To the glory of God.
Allah has entered.
Yeah, several times. But without any APG, because there's trust.
There's trust.
So trust is the most important thing. You have to be able to, you have to want to work. You're not opening a business to defraud. You're not opening a business to be lazy. You must put in the work. Like we even say, my husband is one of the founding partners of Ifeyinwa Ighodalo. Yes, we furnished the building, the entire building, and it's nice. DO.II did that.
Yay.
We did the interior design and everything. But they built an institution based on trust, hard work, and integrity. So if I was to leave you with those 3 things, it would be make sure you're reliable, dependable, trustworthy, hardworking. Yes, you need to have a vision as well. You need to know this is what you want to do. Don't just follow the crowd. This is what you're good at, or this is what you're passionate about, and I'm ready to work on it and turn it into something. This is how I've always imagined my surroundings would be. But it took, if you take 3 years, 4 years off, it took me 31 years to get here.
Wow.
That's resilience. So you must be resilient. You must be, I won't tell them to be bold, because the younger generation, they're much
so
bolder.
bold.
They're much bolder than I will ever be, But yes, I would say resilience. I'm somebody that doesn't take no for an answer. So, and I can tell you're like that. I didn't say no, but, I could see that even when I changed, you just went with it.
With the flow.
So that helped. So don't take no for an answer. I do not take no for an answer. I will beg, cajole, bully, blackmail, whatever it's going to take. So yes, those are the things. Know your onions. You need to know the business you're getting into. like my people are surprised sometimes when they're done with everything. I come in and say, put this here, do this, that. I don't actually I can sew, so I can make curtains if I had to. So there's no part of the business that I don't know. We had a client recently. I sent the team to the site. It was an awkward space to plan. And I was in Abuja last week when I sent them in, and I wasn't happy with what I was getting. I was there yesterday, and I just walked through and I said, okay, we're going to do this, do this, do this, do this. By evening, the floor plan was ready, and it was looking
beautiful.
Well, I don't know if it will be beautiful yet, but at least it made sense. It was working. So they're amazed at whatever they can do. I studied accountancy, so I can understand the book.
The numbers.
The numbers. You see what I mean? So if you know your stuff, keep improving yourself, yes. Keep improving yourself. In my own case, I did do a bit of business studies, but not too much. But what I've tried to do also, apart from keeping the business trending, I've kept the business young. So when you look at a 62-year-old and you're thinking, some of my mates don't even know how to use certain things. They don't understand social media, right? You know what I mean? But I've kept it young. It helps that I had my daughter in my 30s. So when my friends' children were in secondary school, and I think we were just going to start primary school or maybe finish nursery school or something. Yes, so I've had to grow up with her. So that's kept me young as well. So keep the business young. Just like I said, stay abreast of the trends. Nobody wants yesterday's news.
And that is on period. Nobody wants yesterday's news. Thank you so much, Ma, for sitting here and just giving us all of the amazing advice. And I do hope that the business outlives you for many years.
Amen.
And grows bigger than it presently is. Amen. How long is the sale for?
It starts on Friday and it ends on the 30th of November.
Fantastic. So this episode is released on Friday. So that means when you're watching it on Friday, it is today.
So just rush. Rush down to
So
DO.II.
the sale is up till the 30th of November.
Yes.
Go and check out. There's so many beautiful pieces. We'll be inserting a couple of them in this video. And then you can either access it through the link below or go on their Instagram page and grab your piece.
Yes, so
I will be waiting till 25th because by now I'll get discounts.
Of course.
I'll come back.
So we're physical and we're online. So apart from Instagram, there's a website. They're going to upload some
Fantastic.
pieces
So
on there as well.
we'll drop all of the information
Yes.
in the video caption. Is it caption they call it? I'm still learning YouTube.
You see now, we're all learning.
All right, guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.